Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today I will be covering Deadpool and Wolverine in my spoiler review. If you have not watched this movie already, then I suggest you do so, and in theaters, because I believe in theaters is the best way to experience this movie. With that out of the way, spoilers ahead. So the movie kicks off with Deadpool digging up Wolverine's corpse, and he attempts to revive him for some reason that we do not know yet. He digs him up from his grave from Logan, and the camera pans to them sitting on a log, right? It slowly pans to Wolverine's skeleton, and it is clear that he cannot revive him. So once that's out of the way, um, the TVA are from Loki, and I forgot what the initials stand for, but they pretty much work time variance agency. It's something along those lines. Anyway, they're here to get Deadpool, and the then we get a Deadpool just slaughtering everybody for the opening credits, and it is such a Deadpool thing to do, like a Deadpool way to open up this movie, because while he's killing everybody off, he's dancing to NSYNC's "Bye Bye Bye," and after he kills off the TVA and dancing to Bye Bye Bye, we get a flashback. So it's our exposition to how we got to this point, really. And that's been a staple in Deadpool 1 and in Deadpool 2, so I'm glad they kept that here. We get our first cameo of the movie, and it is none other than Jon Favreau's Happy Hogan from the Iron Man and Spider Man movies in the MCU. Deadpool is having a meeting with him or interview for a job. He basically wants to join the Avengers because, you know, what's there left to do? He wants to feel like he matters, but Happy Hogan turns him down, and next thing you know, Deadpool is working at a car dealership for the next several years. You know, just working a 9 to 5, and he works with Peter, who was a character in Deadpool 2. He doesn't have any powers or anything like that, but Peter's just a regular guy who just happens to be Deadpool's friend. Deadpool and Peter show up at his apartment, and he gets a surprise birthday party from most of his friends from the previous Deadpool movies. Uh, Negasonic Teenage Warhead is there. Colossus is there briefly. Yukio is there. Uh, Dopinder, I believe, the taxi driver, he was there. We didn't get T.J. Miller's Weasel character there. We didn't get Cable or Domino, but Deadpool's ex, Vanessa, was there too. So basically, it's clear at this point that they're no longer together. She said she's dating a guy from Germany, and you know Deadpool is just depressed about that. He just feels like his whole life is just, you know, depressing because he's working a 9 to 5 and he has no girl. After they eat cake, the TVA show up and they abduct Deadpool. The apparent leader of the TVA, Paradox, explains to Deadpool that he wants him to join. He recruited him to the TVA to get him to join the current Marvel Universe, the MCU, where the Avengers and everybody else from Disney's at. And Deadpool does not hesitate. He says, yes, let's get on it. They give him a new suit, and yeah, so he tells Paradox, okay, I'll just let my friends know that we're all part of the MCU, and Paradox tells him, well, actually, about that, uh, yeah, your timeline's going to be deleted, basically. But hey, at least you get to join our timeline, right? Deadpool doesn't like that. he breaks Paradox's nose, and he steals one of the devices they use to teleport into multiverses. So after that is where we get the opening. Um, it explains how we got to the opening of the movie. After he's done killing the TVA guys, he, he go, we get a montage of him trying to find any Wolverine. So they explain. I glossed over this. I'm going too fast. What happened is Deadpool's timeline is going to be deleted because of the anchor being's death. The anchor being for that universe was, in fact, Wolverine, Logan. So that's why he wanted to dig up Logan at the beginning of the movie, because he was the anchor being of that universe. However, that's not working out so well, so Deadpool's next thought is, okay, let's get a Wolverine from a different universe and maybe that should work. So we get a montage of him trying to recruit any Wolverine, and they all brutally just massacre this man. Like, we get a ton of comic book Easter eggs and such. And one of the Wolverines wasn't actually played by Hugh Jackman. It was actually played by Henry Cavill, as you know from the Superman from the Snyderverse. So that was actually pretty cool. Uh, Eventually, he gets to the Wolverine that this movie is about, and he notices that this Wolverine is just also like Deadpool at like the lowest point of his life. This Wolverine lost his X-Men, and he's just in guilt, grief, and he just doesn't care anymore. Deadpool brings him back to the TVA, and Paradox tells Deadpool that this Wolverine is pretty much the worst one because he lost his world. And Deadpool and is just in denial because he just wants everything to work out to save his timeline. Eventually, Paradox brings them to the void, in which they are stuck for the next half hour, 40 minutes of this movie. Wolverine and Deadpool, they fight, and Wolverine wins because it makes sense because it's the Wolverine, you know what I mean? Um, we then get another cameo in this movie, and it is revealed to be Chris Evans. So your first thought is, "Oh my God, Captain America's back!" And I thought that's what the next, few hours of this movie was gonna be about. Like, oh my God, we're gonna get a team up between Wolverine, Deadpool, and Captain America. Um, a bunch of villains show up, like Sabretooth, Pyro, and so on, and they are part of Cassandra Nova's gang. More on that in a little bit. So Chris Evans, he's about to gear up, and Deadpool, he knows it's coming. He's like, "All right, Avengers, us," and then Chris Evans says, "Flame on!" And the whole theater was just like, "Oh!" Like, I marked out, I popped, because I should have realized a lot sooner that that was Human Torch and not Captain America. I think my first giveaway was like, okay, he doesn't look as bulky as he did when he played Captain America, but maybe this has to be a variant, right? But no, Human Torch, that was huge surprise. Did not see that coming. And he goes after Pyro and immediately just gets obliterated. Like, I thought they killed him off right then and there, but no, he just gets defeated right then and there. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It was like embarrassing, and even Wolverine was embarrassed. He's like, "Yeah, we don't know that guy." So they capture Deadpool. Oh, before that, Wolverine and Sabretooth, they have a stare down, and they go to fight each other. Wolverine chops off Sabretooth's head, and Yeah, Deadpool holds up Sabretooth's head. I believe it's some Mad Max thing. I have never watched any of the Mad Max movies, so I wouldn't know. And they eventually get captured. Uh, Human Torch is still alive. They go to Cassandra Nova. So, for those who don't know, Cassandra Nova, she is Professor X's twin sister that he tried to kill when they were in their mother's womb. And it's a very complicated backstory. There's more to it than that, but let's just say she's very overpowered in the comics. Like, she killed a whole island of mutants, 16 million mutants, and arguably more powerful than Professor X. And as we, for an example, right here, Deadpool pretty much just gets Human Torch killed because he tells her that, yeah, Human Torch was talking mad crap about her. And so what she does with one wave of her hand, she flicks Human Torch's flesh away, and he crumbles into a pile of bones. That's how overpowered she is. Um, Eventually, Wolverine and Deadpool try to fight her. That does not work out in their favor. She tries to sacrifice them because she's like the power in the void, pretty much. And yeah, they get away. And Deadpool tells Wolverine that if Wolverine helps him escape this place, that they could restore Wolverine's world pretty much and bring all his friends back. So that's why they're working together. And what happens is eventually Wolverine finds out that Deadpool pretty much made that stuff up about restoring Wolverine's world. And Wolvie gets pissed. He tells off Deadpool that there's no wonder the Avengers don't want you or the X-Men. You can't save the world. Hell, you couldn't even save a relationship with a goddamn stripper. And yeah, Wolverine just shredded him in words and in the eventual fight because they fight in a Honda, and yeah, they none of them can die, but there's just blood everywhere, and it's amazing. This fight was just it's like a couples fight, but to like the extreme. Eventually, someone recovers their bodies because they're both unconscious. Um, Deadpool tries to attack whoever uh, recovered them. She takes them down, and it is revealed to be Jennifer Garner's Elektra, which I'm not that shocked about because I saw a leak about this last year that they're going to try to get some cameos from those early Marvel movies in the 2000s, and her name and Ben Affleck's Daredevil were the ones that I saw. We don't get a Ben Affleck Daredevil, but we get a reference to him because she says he's dead. Deadpool says, "My apologies," and Jennifer Garner just she shrugs it off, you know, because Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck were married and divorced in real life. But the next cameo, the next couple caught me off guard. The next cameo was none other than Wesley Snipes' Blade, and yeah, the theater just marked out, popped out, they popped. That was insane. I did not think we would get Wesley Snipes' Blade because I had heard a rumor that Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds had beef. Uh, Wesley Snipes lately came out and said, or he recently said, yeah, that's not true. So we've always loved each other. And it's like, okay then. The next cameo, oh my goodness. The past month, I've been watching X Men 97 and some of the recent X Men movies, and this character was only in like the X Men animated series, but I just thought, man, it would be nice for him to be in one of these movies. And I was hoping we would get this cameo. I was praying, and we got it. We got Channing Tatum as Gambit. For those who don't know, he was supposed to get his movie back in 2017. Then they postponed it to 2020, but after Disney acquired Fox, the movie got canned. I'm glad we got him here. You got him in the comic accurate outfit and in the Louisiana, New Orleans accent, and you could barely understand him. And Deadpool even makes reference to this, like, dude, who is your dialect coach? We can't understand you. Last but not least, to join their team is Daphne Kearns, X-23 from Logan. She's all grown up, and yeah, I mean, no surprise there because she was in the last trailer of the movie. But they all pretty much agree to take on Cassandra Nova, so Deadpool and Wolverine can get back to the TVA. Eventually, the team they go on to fight Nova and her gang. They absolutely shred that gang. It is revealed that Pyro was working for Paradox at the TVA. He almost kills Cassandra Nova. He goes on to make the speech, and Wolverine, he just clocks him, knocks him out, and he's like, "Not everybody gets a goddamn speech." And that was hilarious. So Deadpool and Wolverine, they save Nova, knowing that she could kill them at any moment. In doing so, Nova, she does one gesture of goodwill, and she uses one of the sorcerer's time rings, like the ones Doctor Strange has and Wong have. And so they get back to the TVA, and what ends up happening is Cassandra Nova, she finds out about Pyro's deal with Paradox, and she goes in, and the TVA, they have this device that can. It's one of those MacGuffins. Even Deadpool says it. I forgot what it does exactly, but you know the the MacGuffin, like, gives the villain all this power and all that jargon. So she goes there for that, and in doing so, the Deadpool Corps show up to confront Deadpool and Wolverine. And it's just many different variants of Deadpool. We get Lady Deadpool, Dogpool, Cowboy Deadpool, and it was absolutely insane. Uh, so there was one variant that Deadpool and Wolverine met earlier in the movie, who is this, peace loving Deadpool, and he gets shredded. He gets shredded, and unfortunately for him, he didn't have a healing factor, so he got his head blown off. But as soon as Deadpool and Wolverine are about to fight the Deadpool Corps, Hugh Jackman, he hadn't had it on this whole movie. He finally does it. He puts on the Wolverine cowl, as you can see in the poster right here. And at first I thought it looked a little silly on him. I'm like, oh man, I wanted this for so long, but it kind of looks a little silly. But then, you know, the more he wore it, it grew on me. And yeah, they absolutely shred the Deadpool core. And at the end of it all, they all rise back up because they all had healing factors. Madonna's Like a Prayer was playing along while Deadpool and Wolverine were, shredding these guys. Then Peter, he comes through, and apparently all the Deadpools love Peter, so they stop fighting. Deadpool and Wolverine, they get back to Paradox, and they have to stop Nova. But in doing so, one of them has to sacrifice themselves. And so they go to do that. Wolverine, he nominates himself to do it. Deadpool's like, okay. As soon as he gets through to the door, to the machine that'll stop Nova, Deadpool clocks him with a fire extinguisher, locks him out the room, and Deadpool's like, yeah, if anybody's going to be sacrificing themselves, it's going to be me. Deadpool starts the machine, and Wolverine, he breaks through the door, and they both together, both of them, they stop Cassandra Nova, and they didn't die because their healing factors. It took two of them because they both their healing factors were able to prevent them from dying. But yeah, that's pretty much the plot of the movie. The acting was great. The story, it's okay. I think the story is better than Spider-Man: No Way Home's, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it had a lot of funny jokes. You know, the cameos made the movie. Gambit's cameo, oh my god, that was awesome. But I if there was any cameo that I wish we got, I wish we got would have gotten Patrick Stewart's Professor X. I believe it would have made sense for him to be in this movie. Like, how are you gonna have him in Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness and not in Deadpool and Wolverine? Plus, like, the main villain is his sister, so you would think, or hell, even James McAvoy as Professor X, like any of them. But I do believe Deadpool and Wolverine. Um, I believe they will be in Secret Wars. I believe they'll be back in the MCU because this is an MCU movie. I believe they're going to be back. The X Men are going to be back, recasted most likely. But even Deadpool makes a reference to Wolverine being back. He's like, "Yeah, Disney, they're going to have you till you're 90," and I believe that. I don't believe they're recasting Wolverine. You know, this did not feel like a farewell. So yeah, I can't wait for Avengers Secret Wars in 2027. Just 3 years, you know, it'll fly by. Yep, we'll get Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. We'll probably get Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, and Robert Downey Jr. will be back to play Doctor Doom. So that is going to be awesome. This movie, uh, give it 9 out of 10. This was the movie they had to deliver well on this movie. They had to, and because everybody was thinking like, yeah, the MCU it's kind of dying, and I agree. I don't think the shows besides Loki have been doing the MCU any justice. And yeah, there have been a couple good movies since Endgame. You had the Shang-Chi was okay. Spider-Man: No Way Home was pretty good, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was also pretty good. But yeah, I think Deadpool and Wolverine they delivered well. Now, hopefully, after this, they can deliver with every movie. I know that's saying too much, but Captain America: Brave New World, that movie needs to deliver. You know, this past week has been the shot in the arm that Marvel needed, and hopefully, Daredevil, the Disney Plus series, should be coming out early next year. Can't wait for that. Don't mess that up, you know, because that's the next thing I'm hyped for. But yeah, this movie pretty good. Like I said, good acting. Story was okay. The characters, Deadpool and Wolverine, were just awesome. There's probably a lot I'm forgetting, but this, you know, yeah, it's a lot to cover. And this is my first spoiler review. But yeah, I give this movie a 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like and a subscribe on the video, and I'll see you maybe tomorrow for another Arkham Knight video. Till then, thanks for watching.